And Yahweh shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies, and thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and thou shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. And that's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 25. And this was what Yahweh God has said to us. And as he says in St. Luke, how we would what? That we would be led away captive and be removed. And therefore in the book of Joel, it goes to tell you when they removed us out of Jerusalem, what they did. You see what I'm saying? When you was removed out of Jerusalem, Yahweh God comes and tell you exactly in the book of Joel what they did. They went in there, all of them, and they did what they should never have done. No one was to have Joel chapter 3, verse 2. What does it say?
I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
That's right. See, they parted that land. They parted the land, and no one was supposed to go into there. And it says in the book of Obadiah, verse 13, thou shouldest not have entered into the gates of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. See, that's what they did. They stood there, and they was not to enter into our gates. Jerusalem should never have been occupied. It should have been a land that was totally left alone. And Yahweh God says in the book of Joel, he says, they parted my land and they scattered my people. He says, they have scattered, he says, for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations. And what? Parted my land. They should never, in the book of Obadiah, they said, they should not have entered into the gates of my people in the day of their calamity, nor should it not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid on their substance in the day of their calamity. Because he says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a whorelock, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre, Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly, speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temple my goodly pleasant things. And the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye may remove them far from their borders. And the Grecians are the Greeks. And where the Greeks? In Europe. They actually began to transfer them from their own geography. And he said that's what they did. And therefore Yahweh God is not pleased with how they have treated us and what they have done. And therefore, let's go into Isaiah 51. Isaiah 51. Yahweh's not pleased. But Yahweh says this in our encouragement, 51 verse 14. 51 verse 14.
The captive exile hasteneth, that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread shall fail.
That's right. See, it says here, the captive exile hasten. See, who's the captive? You. And our exile hasten that we might be what? Loose. You know. Because as it says in the book of Isaiah 52, verse 5, it says, they that rule over them make them to holler. Yahweh did our captives make us to holler. That's Isaiah 52, verse 5. Now therefore, what have I here, said Yahweh, that my people is taken for away north. They that rule over them make them to holler, say Yahweh. And my name is continuous every day is blasphemed. So Yahweh God is telling you that the circumstances in which we're in is the circumstances that make us, that is very unpleasant to us. But Yahweh God has said that He is our comfort. That's why He sent us comfort. He sent us to rest in His word, that we might rest and that we will not entertain a continuous onslaught of disappointments. And Yahweh wants us to know that and encourage us that everything is well, because those that rule over us, they make us to holler. They shooting these boys down. You can't get no justice. You get bad service. They take your tax money. It's an onslaught in our community, moving us out. This ain't white people moving you out. This is banks, corporations at a time. Yahweh said, look, it's one thing to do it at a time where the economics is doing. They're doing it at a time where the economics is not very favorable. They are such an hateful people. They, like you read that article, what did that white man say?
That the housing and financial turmoil is not going to impact their movement on the reunification.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's right, he said we're going to find the money and we're going to do it anyway, And this is their own story. But I like to say that when we, in 1 Thessalonians, we come and we realize that it says, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, he said, what? Prove all things. And that's what we're doing, proving. Proving it that it might make sense to us, that we might move with accuracy, not believing it, but coming into it believing it, but then wrestling with it to give us discernment, so that once we prove it, then it's no longer a believing. We are the children of Israel, and Yahweh is our God, and He is our comfort, and the words that He has sent. But He said to Israel, know this for a truth, that there's a time given to the Gentile, and you must allow them that time. You can't rush it. The time will end when the time is to be in. But don't be discouraged what you see. Don't let your eyes, He says, bring this forth in pain. Labor to bring this forth. Labor. And to relax. And may Yahweh bless each and every one of us, because, we're serious. And the thing is, we know that all of this is on the time of Yah. And Yahweh God, He has sent us to comfort. We look in our lives, well, what is happening? What is ever happening in your life? Straighten it out by keeping the commandments of Yahweh. Yahweh Ha'Elohayama.
Yahweh Ha'Elohayama.
Yahweh Ha'Elohayama.
Yahweh Ha'Elohayama. Yahweh Ha'Elohayama. Yahweh Ha'Elohayama. Yahweh Ha'Elohayama.
Blessed be thy holy name, Yahweh. We have laid down and we have risen up, not of our own power. Yahweh God, this building stands up by your blessing. The sun shines by your blessing. The fullness thereof and all that is, has been, shall ever be is yours. May Yahweh continue to bless us and keep us. May the Spirit of our God rest upon each and every one of us. May we love Yahweh God desperately, for we need him. He don't need us. May Yahweh, who is God, who is the provider of all life, we thank you, Yahweh God, for your ways are perfect ways. There's no injustice in anything that you do. May we love Yahweh God. May he send the spirit of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But most of all, the spirit of obedience. May you heal our bodies. May you make us strong. May you teach us that we may, by looking in the Torah, understand it, that we may absorb the right and perfect way, that we may please you. For Yahweh God, all that is, has been, shall ever be is yours. May we rest in Yahweh forever. Amen.
Amen.